Penny Main told me a couple of months ago that David Kirk was blessed with a last name that, it gets him all sorts of interesting comments. Usually Captain is the one that
That's
comes
usually
up.
what they call me, yes.
This morning I was actually reading a story. It was about 20 pages long about how Star Trek reflects values in America according to the particular time that whoever is producing the movies or the TV shows. But of course, he joins us. He's the executive with the Boy Scouts of America in this region, really, right?
That's correct, yeah. In all of central Idaho, basically.
You're talking several counties.
Yes, uh-huh.
I was,
From uh, just west of American Falls all the way over to east of Mount Home,
do, you,
basically.
do you get like mileage?
Yes.
You
A lot of
better.
windshield. There's three other executives that help with this in this area. One over in Burley and Rupert, and the other two are within this area.
I want to point out, of course, it's coming up on 9:35:51. You're listening to News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com with Bill Colley. A big recruiting drive going on. I had a guest on, in fact, talking yesterday about hunting and fishing. Kelton Hatch happened to be in studio, and of course, Kelton reminds me of a 50-year-old Boy Scout. But he was pointing out that we're competing now, unlike when we were kids, with video games and so many other things. And so scouting hasn't really lost its luster, but it's got a lot more to compete with.
Yes, and we lean towards that as well. We have to adjust according to the new technologies and things of that nature. But we are having a recruiting going on right now. Some of the elementary schools, the parents may see a flyer that comes through to go and join scouting. It's just a special time during this year that we invite everyone to come and join scouting. If you miss that night, you can join at any time. Just come down to the scout office and we'll take care of you.
Scouting itself, I think that, I remember the stories, was it Bulwer Lytton all the way back in England who really got the ball rolling there, and then it came to this country.
Yeah.
It really hasn't. One thing, you talk about something that is constant. It hasn't really changed in 100 years.
That's correct. We maintain those same values that they cherished way back in 1910 when they started this movement. And so those values are now even more important as we move ourselves into this ever-changing world. But those values are still solid. In fact, now all units from Cub Scouts to venturing, the older Scouts, we're all focused on the oath and the law. The Cub Scouts learn the Scout law. Everybody's learned those same positive values that they can use.
And in my recollection too is what you learned was really designed to make you almost self-sufficient. Everything from tying knots to building projects you got involved with and the like.
Yes. On top of that, you also learned very valuable and important leadership skills. It's an opportunity for your son to learn how to lead people, how to communicate. How do you communicate one with another is an important topic. And that some people say this is the best gang in America, is the Boy Scouts. It's a positive gang. It's a positive opportunity for all boys to join. We don't care the color of your skin, your religion, or anything like that. It's for all boys.
I can remember, in fact, when I was probably 12, 13 years old, and a group of us we had to clean up an old cemetery that had been abandoned and really forgotten behind this old earthen dam in my hometown. And my uncle was the scout leader in the next town over, about 5 miles away, and he was in charge of this project. I did not realize that until I got there, and I was expecting some sort of favorable treatment from him, but I didn't get it. But the point of the matter is, the project we were working on was a very noble project in the sense that we learned a lot about our own history by working on that.
Right. We also learned the importance of service to others, service to community. Service is an important part of advancement within the Scouts. You cannot advance in Boy Scouts without doing service. So you're right on task there, and that many people just think it's camping out. It's a lot more than that. That Scout law is our law that we follow, and when you go against that, well, then you're really not being a Scout.
You talk about that. There's some fun involved though too, because camping and some of the other events, and of course,
yes.
when we used to make our little soapbox cars, all of those things. That was attractive. I mean, it wasn't just you were learning the service on the side, but we got involved because of that fun stuff.
Right. We are changing in that we recognize that now that the technology has changed, we need to change. And so you'll see some of our new merit badges that are coming out. Innovation. They have even robotics and things of that nature is out there for these kids to learn more and more. So we are changing our the way we present scouting even. Um, you'll be seeing a lot of them coming out on. We're trying to get more involved in like Facebook and Twitter, and I don't even know how to do that, the Twitter thing. But even I have to learn that. I mean, I have to learn how to cooperate in that regard. Facebook, that's a bit ever changing, to me. So we're learning.
David Kirk is our guest. He's going to be with us a few more minutes. If you have a question, comment for him, that'll come up following the break. In fact, I know someone's been trying to reach us. Be patient. We've got to take a couple of minutes to hear from some of our fine sponsors here on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. Bill Colley with you as well on Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX.
Yeah.
Our guest is David Kirk, and of course, he's the Boy Scout executive in this region, joining us on Top Story this morning on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. He's with us for about 5.5 more minutes, 52. We're on a quick warm-up today, unlike yesterday, although we had a ways to go in the first place. Telephone number, if you'd like to reach us this morning on the program, 736-0300. That is 736-0300. And, of course, we're talking about the latest recruiting effort in schools by the Boy Scouts, really because they understand they're in competition this day and age with so much modern technology for the the minds of young people. We have a caller with us, and you're on the air.
Hey, Bill. First, I want to apologize. I called you like 30 times in a row, and for a second, I didn't realize my headphones were plugged into my phone. Couldn't figure out why it wouldn't ring. But I just want to call and tell people how wonderful scouting is. I've been on Bradley's staff, their scout camp, for a number of years.
All
I've
right.
done NYLT staff for them. I've done day camp staff a lot for them, and I just want to tell what a wonderful organization it was. I just got my dream job because I'm an Eagle Scout. That was the one thing that they liked about me because I didn't have any experience. But I just want to say how wonderful that program is.
Fantastic.
Of course, Eagle Scout on the resume is oftentimes one of the most key things people will look at.
It does help. It helps them because they've already proven themselves that they can lead and that they can go towards a goal and accomplish that goal. That's what employers are looking for. Who do I have that I can rely on? He's an Eagle Scout. I can rely on that because he's already proven himself.
We have another caller with us. You're up next on News Radio 1310 KLIX.
Yes, I'll take my answer off the air, but do you really expect us to knowingly send our young boys now? And I've thought the world of the Scouts prior to this, but knowing I may be homosexual leaders, I'll take my answer off the air.
All leaders are chosen by the committee of that sponsoring organization. That committee makes the decision who is going to be their leader and who is not. I think if you looked around, there's that would be your decision. But quite honestly, we focus on the action of each individual, both the adults and the youth. And if those actions are inappropriate, then they will be dismissed from scouting. It's that simple. If they're willing to abide by the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, those action values that we ask them to follow, then they're welcome to be in scouting. But if they're not willing to follow that, or if their actions are inappropriate, they're gone from scouting. I think you'll find that in the world that we live in now, we cherish those values, and we look to those individuals that will abide by them, regardless of their sexual preference. It's when they cross that line that we as individuals are upset or will not follow. You'll find that even in our school systems, we may have the individuals like that, but they are according to their actions. What are their actions like? Are they trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean? Are they reverent? Are they following these action values in their life, or are they not? That's what we focus on.
I was going to say the decision came down from national. Was there really any serious input from local councils?
A lot of that was the national board that would have made that decision. We do have representatives within the council that are part of that board. We do have a vote on that. They actually held it within the National Executive Committee, which is different, a little different, and they made that decision.
I was going to say, there's also the possibility that over the last 100 and some years, that there have been people who are of that persuasion, and they were Boy Scout leaders, and no one knew. It was never brought up.
We never knew. Yeah, we would not know. So that's true.
And a lot of people I know have been looking at alternatives, but at the moment, I don't think there are too many well-known alternatives to the Boy Scouts.
No, not if you want your boy to understand those values and to be taught how to be a leader, how to communicate one with another. They're doing that now in school, but
Well, I've got to tell you right now, I'm not all that pleased about the decision. On the other hand, one day I went into Fred Meyer, and there was a young man, and he was collecting goods and toiletries for people in El Salvador as part of his effort for that Eagle Scout.
Right.
And I thought, I'm not here to harm him. I really would like to see him get that.
Yes. And we have had some that have gone, have not liked the decision. I mean, I don't like the decision, but I focus on what is best for the boys in our area. Maybe it's not. You got to be very mindful as a parent. If you disagree with the leaders that are there, you can easily move and take your kid to a unit that you approve, that you would you feel more comfortable with. That's your prerogative as a parent.
We've got about a minute left. One more time, recruiting going on in schools around the region.
Yes,
and
in the elementary schools and such.
Students will be bringing home paperwork and the like.
If they haven't already, they should be within the next week. We ask that you simply take a look at scouting. What do you want for your young men? Do you want these values, or are you looking for something else? We, like I said, the best gang in America, but quite honestly, they go to an area that is a safe place, an opportunity for them to get to know each other. And sometimes those are the weakest of all become the greatest leaders of all. And they can do that comfortably in scouting more than any place else.
Is there a website, too, where people could go that you've established?
srcouncil.org. So srcouncil.org. They get a hold of that, and we'll be there.
I want to thank David Kirk for dropping by today, the executive for the Boy Scouts, of course, in this region, spending a few minutes with us. We'll see you again, I'm sure, at some point.
I hope so.
We've got a break coming up for Mike. Well, I was going to say Mike Huckabee. It's Mike Gallagher now, brought to you exclusively by it has been for months, exclusively by Waddell & Reed, financial advisors in Twin Falls, 736-6563.